Hi guys, my name is Kunal Kumar and I am security consultant at Redfox Security. Today we will do Baby2 machine from VulnLab, which is Active Directory machine. So I have run the nmap command to scan the IP. Now let's wait to finish the nmap. Also we can see the following ports which are open in the following IP, which is LDAP, SMB, RDP. We can figure out that the following services are running by identifying the ports. So what we can do, we can use netexec to just get some additional information from the IP. So just paste the IP. So we can identify that the following IP is running on Windows Server 2022 and domain is baby2.vl, and also the name is DC. So we can assume that this is domain controller, and sign in is true and SMBv1 is false. So SMBv1 is not in use. So let's wait to finish our nmap. We can also check if we have null authentication, or like we can authenticate to SMB without passing any credentials. So we got nothing. We can try entering random things like Kali Kali. So we got nothing. Till we can try to list all the shares if we have access as unauthenticated. We can see that basically the DC, we can say now DC have the following shares, which is apps, docs, homes, and the default 2.4 domain controller. So we can see in docs, apps and homes that there is something or not. Just type ls and we can find that there is a dev directory and we can list it. We found a login.bbs link, which is link file. This is not an exact file, basically this is kind of shortcut. Just download it and we can also download the changelog. Just exit it and we can try to see the content. So we cannot actually see it using cat command. We can use string commands and find out that there is basically login.bbs script in the sysvol directory. If we see that we have sysvol directory and netlogon also, we can try to connect to these shares and check that if we have access to the login.bbs script. So what we can do, we can try connecting to the share. Just copy the IP. We do not have any access for listing or reading to this share. We can also check in the netlogon. Okay, so there is login.bbs script. I can try to download it using git command and it's got downloaded successfully. So just check, let's check the content of the login.bbs. So as we found in netlogon share, we can assume that this script is scheduled to run at some time, like it might be in 1 minute, 2 minutes, or it might be also in hourly basis or it can be in day basis. So it's just a normal VBS script of Microsoft. What we can do, we can place our IP here in this share directory, which is calling, I think, map network share, and it will check for the following share. So what we can do, we will place our attacker IP in this place, and we will run responder to capture any hashes. So what we can do, we will run responder. If this script try to access the following share, and then we can basically capture the net NTLM v2 of the user, which will the user who triggered this script, we will get the NTLM hash of that user in our responder. So just copy your tunnel 0 IP, and we will use mousepad just to edit the file, and we will replace it by our IP and just save it. And we will try to put using SMB client. Do not enter any password, leave it blank and just ls, and we will try to put our login.vbs from locally to remote. Okay, so we do not have access to write anything in the netlogon directory. Okay, so what we will do, we will enumerate mode to find any users in the network. So what we can do, we can look for, first we will look for nmap scan. So our nmap scan got successful, and we do not see any extra ports rather than Active Directory ports. All our default Active Directory ports. RDP is also on, nothing else, no HTTP and no other unidentified services. So we can use in-packet lookup SID, which I use always in Active Directory machine. Just replace it with your IP. Do not enter any password, and we do not have basically privilege for our ID, basically to look for the SIDs in the domain unauthenticated. So what we can do, we have also few shares left to enumerate. Okay, I think I have entered the wrong IP. I guess here I also entered the wrong IP. Let's try again using lookup SID. What this tool will do, it will try to brute force the SIDs using basically the random numbers starting from 1 to like going for 20,000, 30,000. It's actually depend. So it is actually brute forcing all the SIDs number 498, 500, 1114, and it's going on. So what we'll do, we will filter out the SID type user to basically filter out the user. So what we will do, we will just copy it and save it in a file. We can see the all usernames in the domain, which is library, Nicola, Harry, Mohammed. Okay, so we have also the shares left to enumerate. 2 shares left. Okay, my bad. Let's first enumerate the other 2 shares. and we have docs and homes. So we will look for homes. Just do ls to list out the content. And we have also the usernames here, which we already found here. If you see, I guess all usernames are same. So what we will do, we will use these usernames. Just exit it and save it in usernames.txt. So we want first position, so we will use $1 to list out the first parameter, and we will save it in the users. We can then use crackmap or hydra tool to brute force the user's password by providing the password as user's name. Like many users can have the password same as the username. So we will use net exact and then copy the IP. What I will do, I will save it in the etc host file by giving the domain name. So it will be easy to just provide the domain name and do your things. I will just ping it. Okay, it is working. So what I will do, I will provide the domain and then provide the all users name, which is in the basically file, and then for password we will give the users.txt. So it will take some time, like it's actually around 12 users names, so it will take around 4 to 5 minutes. If we are lucky, then we can get the valid usernames. Either we have to look for some other path. And we are also getting some NTLM hash. I think this is my IP. Yeah, this is my IP. Okay, so there is, I guess this is false positive. What I can do, I can use continue on success. Because there is no username, it is only showing for password, it is valid, but it is false. So we have got a valid username and password, which is Carl More. So I am just pressing OK. Let it run, and we can try to authenticate using this username and password in another tab. So it is valid. What we can do now, we can try to upload the login.vvs script using this username, and we can and then we can check if we have access to upload the file or not. Okay, my bad, I have to specify the username, which is carl.more, and then provide the password. Okay, so it is not working. We can use another tool also, like Impacket SMB client. if this will not work. Okay, so we can use also in packet assembly client to connect to the shares. Just copy the password and we'll use I don't think we will need this DCIP. Okay, so we can specify the IP also, or we can specify the domain directly. So we have connected to the shares. We can type shares command to list out the shares, and we will use net logon. Just type ls to list the files, and then now we can try to upload the login.vps from our local machine to the remote machine. And I guess we do not have access to upload the login.vps here. So we have also sysvol direct shares, so we can try to connect to there and check if there is also any scripts folder. Just go to your baby2.pl folder and we will look for a script folder. Okay, there is a script folder. Just do ls, and here is also a login.vps file. We will try to overwrite it using put command by uploading our login.vps from the local machine. And it successfully got uploaded and overwritten. Now we can look here for the hashes. What we can also do, we can modify the VBS file to execute the system command, and we can place the PowerShell command to give us connection back to our netcat listener. So we can also do that. For doing that, I will just open the listener on 1337, and I have to check how we can basically execute command using VBS, basically the Microsoft just search for Now we can search for like how we can execute the command using the Visual Basic script. So we can like search how to execute command in Visual Basic. So we can find here a Stack Overflow post. Okay, so we can use this one ocl.run to execute the system commands. So what I will do, I will just simply copy this command. Just remove the login.vvs. And type the following. Okay, I have missed the O. And then we can utilize the refcells.com. Okay, my PC is little bit hanging. Okay, so we have got the anti-alarm v1. We have got the anti-alarm v1 hash of the Amelia Griffiths user. We can try to brute force this hash, or we can also get the cell using this method by executing the VVS command on the system and getting the reverse cell back to our listener. So I will just check our tunnel 0 IP, then copy it, put here your IP and your port, and we will use PowerShell. So I always use PowerShell encoded method. You can check here for PowerShell encoded method and just copy it, and then we will use PowerShell, this one. Just save it, and we will use SMB client to upload our login.vvs script. Now we will wait for some minute or some time to get our reversal back to our listener. Okay, I think I have missed one line, which is set OCL to create an object. I have to also specify this line. Just edit your cell and add this line, set OCL, and we will just put it again in this here. And now let's wait for the connection. Till now what we can do, we can run Bloodhound remotely using Bloodhound Python and check if we got any extra path for the domain admin. We can look for the command in using internet, Bloodhound Python. I always prefer this website for the easy commands. I guess I am missing some arguments. I have to see the manual. Just type U for providing the username and P for providing the password. And I don't think I have to provide the name server. Okay, I have to provide the name server also. Just copy your DC IP and paste it. So it is now working, and it will try to authenticate using the LDAP server. And we can also see that we have got our sale as which user. We can check using who am I, and we have got the sale using Amelia Griffiths. And we can also found our user.txt here. And next we will move to our Bloodhound, and it is querying the basically LDAP server and fetching all the details, and it will save the output in the .zip file. Till then we will start our Neo4j database, and we will run our Bloodhound Python in GUI mode. So let's check if our Bloodhound Python has been ran successfully. So it's ran and saved the output in the following file. So we will upload the data in the Bloodhound. And then upload the .zip file. And we have user which is Amelia. We can mark this user as owned, and we will look for the shortest path from owned to domain admin. We can also check for the all domain admins, which is Joan and administrator. We will search for our user Amelia, and we will mark it as owned. And if we see here our overview, we can see that this user is reachable to high value targets. We can click on it, and we can see that Amelia Griffiths can RDP into DC, and DC of DC ranks, which is false because normal user cannot log in. Basically, normal user cannot RDP into the DC. So what we can do, we can look below and look for outbound object control and look for transitive control. So looking for the outbound object control, we found that Amelia is member of the following group and also legacy group, and legacy group have write DACL to GPOAdm user, and GPOAdm user have GenericAll to the following two GPO, which is one is default domain controller policy and second one is default domain policy. So what we can do, we can abuse the write DACL permission as Amelia user, because Amelia user is part of legacy group, and legacy group members have write DACL to the GPOAdm, basically admin. So what we can do here, so basically in write DACL we can update or update the DACL of the target object by granting any privilege like reset password, DC sync, and there is also flag in Windows. If you abuse it, there is also a flag called all. By giving the this means like you can give all access to the target user for this following user like GPO admin. Like we can give all access to Amelia user for the GPO ADM user. So we can look online what are the commands for radical abuse. Basically, we can edit the object DACL. You can also find our website Redfox Security using ACLs. So using the power view, we can modify the DACL of the target user, and attacker can add themselves in the basically principal identity and give themselves rights for all actions. And after granting all rights, attacker can then add themselves to the following group or the object. Basically, this command is for abusing right DACL for domain groups, but we have scenario for basically a user have right DACL to the another user. So what we can do, we will provide the all rights to the Amelia user, and then we will change the password of the GPO ADM as Amelia user. That's mean basically by giving the all rights to the Amelia for the GPO ADM user, we can basically do anything to the GPO ADM user, like changing the password or like adding like changing the password, modifying the ACLs, or writing any objects to it. We can also check this link to basically how we can abuse the right DACL to change the password of the target user. So what we will do, we will first import the power view. Just download it in your local system. And we will transfer it using Python server. Or we can use also wget, because this is Windows 2020, so I guess there must be wget or curl. So we can use curl, and then just and we have got the connection, and our file has successfully downloaded. We can import it using the following command, and we can verify our import using get domain. So it is working. So what we can do, we will give the all rights to the Amelia user. So just modify here. Our target identity will be GPOADM and principal identity will be, okay, I'll just copy paste. I can make the mistake in the spelling. So we have successfully give Amelia all rights for the GPO ADM user. And next we will do, first we will store the password and we will change the password using set domain user password for the GPO ADM user. And the command is successfully executed. We can try to authenticate for SMB server using the change password. And we have successfully changed the password for the GPO admin user by abusing the right-ACL permission. Next we can see the next path for that GPO ADM have GenericAll over these two GPO. That's mean this user can do anything in the following two GPO, like adding any policy or anything a user can do to the group policy. So looking for the GenericAll to abuse the GPO, we can find that there is a basically a script to abuse the GPO for basically a generic write or GenericAll permissions. So there is a script called GPOAbuse. So it is a partial implementation of this SHARP GPO. What basically this tool do? This tool can be used when a control account can modify an existing GPO. That's mean the user have any modification or write access to the GPO that applies to one or more users and computers. So what this script will do? It will create a immediate scheduled tasks as system. Which is higher privilege in the Windows, and basically it will create a immediate scheduled tasks as system on the remote computer for computer GPO, and or basically as logged in user for the GPO. So in our scenario, it will create a scheduled tasks for the as system authority user. We can identify the following command, how we can use the command to abuse the GenericAll for the GPO. So what we will do, I will first clone this repo in my machine. So let's clone it. And we can try running it, and we can see that if there is any missing requirements. So yes, there is missing requirements. We can install it using pip. What we can do, we can create a new virtual environment. Okay, now I guess there is some problem for creating virtual environment. What I can do, I can use this flag break system packages, and it will download all the requirements file, and we can try to run this. Okay, this is still not working. What we can do, we can manually install it. So it's executed, and we can see the following commands like domain user password and GPO ID, and we can also specify the command to execute as schedule tasks. By default, it will create a zone user using the following password, and it will add that. So we can use the following two GPO to basically abuse and schedule tasks using the GPOAbuse. So we will just click on the default domain policy and grab the GPO ID, which starts from here, and copy it and type the following command. We will first check for the parameters, and we have to add we have to specify the domain user password and the GPO ID and the DC IP. So just and we will use GPOAdm user and specify the GPO ID which we copied, and specify the DC IP. So by default, it will create a zone user using the following password. So the script basically scheduled the tasks, and it will execute in some time. It depends on how it's configured, and use netexec using the zone username and the password given by the script. And our task is basically our task is successfully executed, and the zone user is added in the domain and also in the local administrator group. That's why it is showing pawn. That's mean we have successfully got the local admin access to the following machine. What we can do, we can also use xRDP to connect to the machine. And we have successfully connected using RDP using zone user. Which is, I guess this is Windows Server 2022. And we can now navigate our root.txt file in the administrator folder. And here is our root.txt file. So the task was for this machine was to find the user and root.txt file. So that's it for today's video. If you like this video, please like and subscribe for better content like this. Thank you.